Welcome to another Rooster Talk. I've got Ed Turner here for Kingwest. Ed, I suspect you guys, I've noticed some of your announcements coming out and news on Twitter. Looks like you guys are busy doing things. Let us maybe give us an update on what you guys been up to.
Yeah, sure, Noel. It's we've been business as usual. The coronavirus hasn't really affected us as far as our field work goes. So we've been drilling for the last month or so at Menzies. Besides that, we announced exploration targets of between 250,000 and 500,000 ounces in a grade range of 13 to 23 grams per tonne for our high grade Menzies deposits. So that's what we're drilling right now. And last week we announced we had the highest intersections to date. We had 3 metres at 158 grams per tonne at first hit. So obviously very, very high grade gold. And at Lady Shenton, we had a metre at 58, within 5 at 13 grams per tonne. We had another few 9 grams per tonne, another 13 grams per tonne, all in the Lady Shenton system. Now these were just from the RC drill holes, so some of those are just pre-collars for the deeper holes. So we're very happy with the progress there. And now we've started the diamond core drilling. So the diamond core are the deeper tails to the RC pre-collars. So that's currently underway at Lady Shenton, and then we'll go to Yundaga and we'll drill right underneath the 600 metre deep historic workings there, as well as some of the shallow holes. So that'll take us about another month.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because I've been saying to people that if you got a domestic project, really there's nothing really stopping you. I mean, with all the restrictions, it's actually an advantage to be domestic based.
Yeah, it is. So we're allowed to move between the different regions. We carry a letter of authorisation because the mining industry is one of the essential industries right now. So that doesn't affect us at all. We're driving in and driving out rather than flying, just to take extra precautions, but it hasn't really affected us at all. And in Perth, we just work from home like this. So we're fortunate, very fortunate. We don't have projects overseas or interstate right now. But I mean, our other project at Goongarrie is about 40 k's south of Menzies, and we've just finished a scoping study there as well. And we're looking at net free cash flow between $6 and $10 million if we get that back into operation, and that's only in 10-month operation. So we're in talks with third parties to do profit share mining arrangements there, as we announced previously. So that's advancing well as well. So we're very happy with the progress we're making there.
In essence of the situation we're in, obviously gold price, gold price is doing really well. And how are you finding the capital markets? I know the reception on the markets. I've seen a lot of stocks who put results out and the markets reacted positively. Chalice has gone through the moon and probably on its way to Mars soon, and so on. So in that sense, can you share with us what you're hearing or what you're feeling out there?
Yeah, it's a bit up and down, and there has been some panic selling across the board. Really, you'll see some days all the stocks will be down, and then the next day they'll come back. Overall, but being in gold right now is the best commodity to be in, and the gold price just keeps on ticking up basically. So from our point of view, we're happy with the situation we're in, and if we did need to go back and raise more funds, we'd be pretty confident that we would get a good result. So if you're having success proving up new resources, or you've got a sort of pipeline, a pathway to production, then there's a lot of support in the market.
And in some strange way, it's probably the best time to announce and to make waves in the market if you've got the news, obviously, because everyone is not distracted. Everyone's sort of fixated on certain things, and those that are in the market are constantly on the market because there's nothing else out there. It's a strange but wonderful time for the likes of yourself, I guess.
Yeah, I feel a bit sorry for the base metal miners or explorers and some of the other commodities right now. But yeah, I'm confident we'll get through this, and the gold price should continue to tick up. So, you know, we've got no reason to slow down. We're just going to keep pushing ahead, and the quicker we get our resources updated, the better, basically, and get closer and closer to production.
Yeah, I'm glad I spoke to you, because I think there's not too many people that realize that you can still work in this environment, and as long as you take the precautions and you follow the guidelines. It's surprisingly, I was told someone had was flying to Melbourne on Sunday because, you know, on business and certain essential things that you need to do. I thought there was no flights, there's people not flying, and you know, the likes of yourself are still drilling away. You're driving in and out. You know, your samples are going to the labs. So there are things moving still in the outside world, while everyone's sort
Yeah,
of in isolation. You know.
yeah, and I wasn't aware about the possible flights interstate and that either. You know, we were just assuming. Well, it doesn't really affect us anyway, but no, we're happy we can keep on, you know, exploring. I know some companies are a bit wary about spending too much cash because you know, not really sure about how the market's going to be in the second half of the year or the rest of the year. But the feedback we're getting from, you know, brokers and that the situation we're in, they're very supportive, and so we're quite happy with how things are progressing, basically.
Yeah, I in my opinion, I think from all the feedback from people I've, you know, of all this Rooster Talks I talk, you know, from the time we started about 4 weeks ago, I think there was talk of a glimmer of a light at the end of the tunnel. And luckily, you know, our numbers are looking good on the virus front and things. I think that light's getting bigger and bigger. Do you share the same opinion? Do your peers share that same opinion?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not really sure what the impact will be on the overall economy outside of the mining industry. Yeah, how long that will take to come back, but I'm pretty confident the stock market will rebound once things open up again, and you know, the people are allowed to move around again, and that will be a positive sign, and people will want to get back and invest in the market. A lot of people just had to sell for various reasons, and you know, to convert to cash and things like that. But I think market will rebound. I'm not sure about the overall economy.
Yeah, I think from my I mean, I like everybody else we speak to, we have people that we talk to and work with all over the world. And from an investment point of view, everyone's still looking for, you know, whether it's an alternative investment, alternative industry, alternative business, but they're still trying to leverage themselves for the future, I guess. The world just keeps ticking along. It's good to hear stories like yourself, where people, you know, there is definitely, I mean, those results are good. I remember in the Silver Lake days, I mean, when they were drilling in it, I mean, I don't come from the mining background. When you guys quote those numbers in the old days, I was thinking, oh, but that's only 1 meter or 2 meters. But in the scheme of things, it actually means a lot more than that. I think a
Well,
lot of the market can't comprehend that.
yeah, now keep in mind we can mine underground down to about 1 metre true width, but even if you assume 1.5 metres horizontal being your minimum mining width, you convert all your grades to that width. So, you know, we had 3 metres 158, but even if it was half a metre 158 grams per tonne, that's 1.5 metres at 53 grams per tonne basically, and you can make money on 1.5 metres at 4 grams per tonne is profitable for a narrow vein underground mine. So, you know, on the other side of that hole, we had a metre at 5.5 and 1 metre at 4 grams per tonne. So suddenly you've got over 80 metres of strike length, going greater than your sort of minimum grade requirements and the minimum mining width. So that's economic.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fascinating thing about underground mining. That, you know, people don't realize they look for those big, you know, intercepts and things like that, but they don't realize the there's two numbers here. There's a meterage and the grade. When the grade is at that size, it doesn't make much difference.
Yeah, well, typically, if you do get the greater widths, you get the lower grades. That's normally how it works. So, you know, you win in one way, but you lose in another. So, if you're not a bulk mining operation, you know, like a Katie or something like that, you know, they can survive on less than a gram per ton. But that's
right.
You know, a block caving operation. So it's different. We prefer to have a smaller, higher grade deposit, which we can rip out very quickly. And it's much higher margin on the high grades, basically, and it's easier operation to get into production.
Yeah, I mean, there's always case by case scenario in you know, as you point out, someone like Acadia or those big porphyries, you're talking 0.5% or 0.5 gram, but they've got billions of tons. You know, so it's you can't compare everything together, which is over years I've learned that, you know, what the significance are when you talk about things. You got to understand where the project is and what is the project.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, all right, Ed. Thanks for giving time. It was a good update. I think it's a nice story. I've always liked it since the first time we did the coffee with Samso. It's good to see that you guys have progressed a long way since when we first started. I think you just relisted, I think, or listed at that time.
Oh, we just acquired the project in September last year, so we basically took control of Kingwest and acquired the project at the same time. So Kingwest is only, well, it's less than 2 years old, but we've only had the project since September.
That's
so
right.
We've achieved a lot in that time, and we're very happy with the progress we're making.
Great. All right, thanks, Ed. Again, thank you for giving us time. I'm sure you're a busy man like everybody else. And we'll get an update maybe down the road.
Thank you, Noel. Good to talk again.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.